Welcome back to Grid Down Magazine at Guns America Digest. The articles that go along with these videos are at griddownmag.com. And if you have not subscribed to Guns America Digest to get notifications of new stuff, you should do so at gunsamerica.com/digest. The articles that go with these videos usually have a lot more details in them, and they will have product links. This week I am on medical kits and this little guy here. And I started medical kits many years ago on Prepping 101 for those of you who were around back then. And when I did that one, it was a big medical kit that was a full backpack. I did two backpacks, a Chinese version of a backpack and then a US produced, probably also made in China, backpack, and I filled it with everything that you could ever want, even some things in there that you really didn't need, like snake bite kits and things that most medical kits, trauma kits, wouldn't have in them. But I had things like triage tape, and both of them had some form of an actual litter. One of them had it on the side, one of them, the pack itself, converted into a litter. So it was extremely comprehensive. The problem with a pack like that is that most people aren't going to bring it with them. And that's what I found. What I found is that I put them in storage. I actually gave one of them to a friend of mine who tends to go to those things. He's part of a relief organization that shows up at mass casualty kinds of things. He brought it to the building that collapsed on the coast here in South Florida. He actually brought that pack. The only person he got to treat wasn't a person, it was a dog that he needed something out of the pack for. But it's for people who are going to be running that way instead of that way in a mass casualty event. But I didn't carry it. And I didn't even carry, I made a smaller version about this big of a small pack that I didn't carry either. So I decided for Grid Down that I would create a pack that incorporated all the stuff that from those packs that you really need, but only a little bit of them, not something that you could use for a lot of people, and something that was small enough to actually carry. I found this little bag, and you'll be shocked at how much stuff I managed to fit in here. This guy has MOLLE straps on the back, so it will go right on the back of most of your backpacks. It could also go could also hang on your belt as a fanny pack. And it's light and usable, and I believe that it's something that most people will carry. So here is a close-up of the pack, and it has these two side compartments that zip out, like so. See, it's a little too full actually, but I decided to go with it because too full is good. I don't know that you'll be able to get this stuff back in there, but I did what I did, and it is what it is. One of the key elements of a trauma pack is having a chest seal, and especially for people who are around guns and who might be in things with really, really tragic bad accidents, God forbid. These chest seals they're brand new, so there's no expired issue with them. A lot of the ones on eBay are not, they're old, and these are not. They're manufactured in 2021, and they have pretty clear instructions for their use. The one thing I did not include in this was a decompression needle for releasing pressure out of the lungs. You have to fit it underneath a certain rib, and I wasn't comfortable putting it in the pack because I think you can do more damage than good with it unless you really know what you're doing. One of the things that I put in this pack that most packs do not have are some really good burn things. Now this is your after burn dressing. This is what you would put on after you treat the burn. And I'm not doing these in any particular organized order. I'm just going to take them out of the pack until it's empty, all right? As you can see, it's a silver impregnated. This is a real high-end dressing, as is this burn dressing. This is something that you put on first if you're stuck out, stuck out far in the woods, and you need a sterile, really nice, good wet that sticks burn dressing. These water gel dressings are amazing. I've used them myself on my own burns, and they are amazing. They come in many sizes, and if you want the larger sizes, they are actually on eBay. They won't fit in this pack though. Now, there's a lot of wound dressings, obviously. I don't believe there's any small Band-Aids in here, but there's a number of different wound dressing bandages, and a lot of these are imported. They're Chinese bandages. They seem fine. I haven't seen any advantage to the U.S. bandages. If you wanted to replace them with U.S. bandages, you could. I couldn't get them in bulk because I'm not a medical supply place. So we couldn't get them at Star and Bullock for that. That is a small square one. This is a small oval one. I'm not going to bother opening on any of these, and it's all brand new stuff. That's one of the key things that I really insisted on was we're not doing any, there's no expired stuff for the pack. There's a lot of cleaning things in here with both alcohol and iodine. Iodine is going to be your first go. But if you can't talk to the person and ask them, or you find out ahead of time if they have a shellfish allergy, you need to stay away from iodine. So that's why there are some alcohol wipes. Also, there's also some alcohol swabs, which I'll show you shortly. But otherwise, try to use the iodine. Iodine is much better than alcohol for cleaning wounds and keeping them clean. And you've got I don't know, maybe 10 or so. I think there's, at least 10 I think, of both of these in the pack. There is a small scalpel with a blade, a sterile scalpel, if you need to cut things away to remove something. And these guys are to clean visible and otherwise dirt out of the wound. These are Q-tips that have iodine in them that you squeeze, and these have alcohol in them that you squeeze. Now, like I said, these are brand new. I don't know that either of these would last very long because, like, for years and years and years, the way the other ones will, because they're not in Mylar, they're just in plastic. So, these are incredibly important to have, much more so than stitching materials. Like I didn't put anything to do stitches in this at all. I'm going to do that in a future video, a future article. We do have a suture practice kit and sutures for those of you who want to know how to do that. But the biggest mistake that people make is they try to suture things up that aren't clean. Having a clean wound is much more important. Obviously, stopping any bleeding, which I will get to. There is a tourniquet in here. Stopping any bleeding first and then cleaning the wound as well as you can is the most important thing of any survival situation. This is the tourniquet, and it's just a regular military tourniquet that it's got a twist bar on it so you can tighten it up. Good, really awesome thing to have, obviously. And these are this is a real heavy-duty sterile wound dressing that will absorb leakage as after you get it to stop. It will, if you put a big wound dressing on it. This is a big 6-inch wound dressing. It's very good. And a pair of scissors to cut away clothing, which I found desperately lacking. I won't tell you the story. One of my kids got hurt, and I didn't have anything to cut their clothes. And I always have a knife on me, but I didn't. I wore sweatpants out to pick them up that night, and It was just a dreadful, dreadful. Thank God everything was fine, but ended up being fine. But having a scissor is a really good thing. These are long wound dressings. There are 2 of them. So if you need to change a dressing or you have more than one injury, these are, say, manufactured 2021. These are a nice, big, sterile dressing to wrap around things. So that's it for the compartments. Then there's some wrapping gauze. There's 2 long wrapping gauzes and a tape. And that is, I believe, yep, that is all that is in there. If you can believe we fit all that in there, I will attempt to get it back in, but it's not so easy. You know, I think I actually got it all back in there. Let's see how it closes. This is how exactly the way I did it too. You have to do it because I've tried it a few different ways, and you have to do it exactly like I did it because all compartments are not equal. There's specific things that fit in specific compartments. And as you saw, by the way, there are no small Band-Aids in here. So if you wanted some small Band-Aids, you could just put some in. I guess getting this tab in the right place is the hardest thing at the end of the process. But if you unzip it a little bit, once you're sure you're zipped, that goes inside. There we go. Pretty close. I'm maybe a ½ inch off, but it's closed. And there it is, the kit that you will actually carry. I'll see you next time.